Let's be honest, most people never admit this out loud. But not having friends isn't always an accident, and it's not simply because someone is shy, or introverted, or antisocial. Often, it's the result of deeper psychological patterns, ways of thinking, feeling, and interpreting the world that quietly push connection out of reach, even when the person genuinely wants it. Today, we're diving into 5 rare personality traits that are surprisingly common in people who end up walking through life alone. And you might recognize some of them in yourself. 1. They overanalyze every social interaction. Some people don't just experience a social moment, they study it. After every conversation, they replay the words, tone, and body language in their mind like a detective reviewing footage. Psychologists call this hyper-self-awareness. It sounds intelligent, but in reality, it's social poison. Because when you're stuck analyzing, you can't relax. And when you can't relax, you can't connect. People feel the tension, they sense the distance. It can make you seem cold, even when you're trying your best to be warm. Your brain is quietly observing the interaction instead of participating in it. 2. They have a low tolerance for inauthenticity. These individuals spot fake behavior instantly: forced laughter, attention-seeking, drama, insincerity. They see through it like glass. This comes from high social perception, which often appears in people with strong emotional intelligence. But here's the dark side. When you see the truth behind people's behavior, you stop playing along. You don't fake interest. You don't flatter. You don't pretend. And because modern social life runs on small talk and surface-level validation, this makes people uncomfortable. They mistake your silence for arrogance, your independence for pride, your honesty for superiority. In the end, they avoid you, not because you're cold, but because you expose their performance. 3. They're emotionally self-sufficient. Most friendships rely on tiny emotional exchanges: shared worries, mutual reassurance, asking for help, expressing vulnerability. But emotionally self-sufficient people rarely do any of that. They regulate their feelings internally, they deal with problems alone. They don't need constant connection, attention, or support. In psychology, this is known as emotional self-reliance. It seems like a strength, and in many ways, it is. But there's a hidden cost. When you never ask for help, people subconsciously feel unnecessary. When you never open up, they feel shut out. And over time, they stop trying to get close. You don't push people away, you simply give them no space to matter. 4. They reject group mentality. Some people are natural individualists. They think independently, question social norms, and refuse to conform just to fit in. Psychologists call this low social conformity. It's not rebellion, it's wiring. This trait earns respect, but not closeness. Because people bond over sameness, shared jokes, shared habits, shared trends. But when everyone laughs, you're analyzing the joke. When everyone agrees, you're asking why. When everyone follows, you quietly step aside. Your authenticity keeps you honest, but it often keeps you alone, too. 5. They struggle with emotional reciprocity. Many people who have few or no friends aren't emotionless. They simply express emotions differently. They're logical, reliable, supportive, but when it comes to sharing their own feelings, they freeze. This is linked to traits similar to alexithymia, where someone has difficulty identifying or expressing emotions. They care deeply, just not in ways others recognize. And because they express warmth quietly or privately, people may feel disconnected. They admire your mind, but they can't feel your heart. By the time you're ready to open up, the emotional moment has already passed. The slow fade into isolation. People rarely lose friends overnight. It happens through tiny patterns: slow replies, minimal emotional expression, not playing along socially, not engaging in the rituals that maintain connection. Over time, the gap widens until connection quietly disappears. The truth people miss. Not having friends doesn't mean you're broken. It means your mind values truth over belonging, authenticity over performance, depth over noise. You can't fake connection. You can't dilute your personality to fit in. You stand alone not because no one understands you, but because few can match you. You don't need to change who you are, but understanding your traits gives you power. The question isn't, why don't I have friends? The real question is, who is actually built to handle me? If you want more psychology that reveals the truth, not sugar-coated motivation, subscribe. Because here, we go deeper.